This is NBA Action on the Game Gear. There we go, focus. Yeah, focus. Focus. That's what I tell my students. Focus. So the full title of this is NBA Action 95 starring David Robinson. Okay, cool. It's a basketball game, obviously. It does have all 27 NBA teams, you know, from the time period with the real rosters, and it's 5-on-5. And this game's also on the Genesis, which I imagine is probably the better way to play it. As for the story, it's basketball. You play basketball. You dribble the ball up and down the court, and you try to make field goals. Right, you score baskets. You basket scoreball. I like basketball, guys. I attend a fair number of basketball games every year, and I do enjoy it. But I don't really like video game basketball too much. You know, it plays just like most other basketball games, but the controls are super clunky, as you can imagine, on the Game Gear. And they do take a little bit of getting used to. Passing in this game was really hard. You don't, like in most games, to pass, you hold down the direction you want to pass and press the pass button. In this game, you don't do that. You hold the direction and then you gingerly tap the pass button. If you don't, your character will just like hurl the ball across the entire court like a rocket at 70 miles an hour, and nobody will catch it, and you'll get flagged for out of bounds. I don't even know. You know, man, what to say about this game? It's almost impossible to see what you're doing. It's almost impossible to see what's going on. I have no idea how anybody ever played this on the Game Gear. Like on a real Game Gear screen, the terrible Game Gear screen. How? But, you know, you see me playing it here on an emulator. That's totally fine, but it is not. It doesn't look good even there. You know, and I applaud the makers. I guess Sega made this, right? It's one of those Sega sports games. I applaud them for trying to make a real basketball sim game. You know, with trades and everything, like you could trade your players, and putting it on the Game Gear, good for them, but like, this game just does not hold up, and there are so many other better basketball games you could play, and, you know, where your time could be better spent. You know, I guess if you like David Robinson, if you're a big fan of that, like, time period from the early 90s basketball, but like, man, Jordan played then. Like, what? Like, you're like, oh, I love David Robinson. Let's forget about Michael Jordan. Whatever. But, so, like, it's a sports game, right? I try not to have these in the collection. I try to curate it a little bit, but sometimes they work their way in, so. NBA Action, it's like a 4 out of 10. It's not that fun. It looks bad. It's hard to play. What can you say, man? It's basketball on the Game Gear.